What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. Oh my goodness, guys, we got Applied Energistics last episode. Well, we got the controller. We still got a lot of ways to go before we can actually use Applied Energistics. But one thing that I'm doing right now is in our scanner, I did put in the iridium reinforced plate. This is one that requires 4 pieces of the iridium ore and 4, what are those called? The advanced alloys and a diamond to make. Yeah, I think that's what the recipe is for one of these. Anyway, the last time I did one of those in the older Feed the Beast Infinity on the Hermitcraft server, it seemed like it was cheaper to make these than make all of those other pieces together. So yeah, I'm going to go and scan this, and then we'll start replicating these instead of the iridium ores by themselves. I did get a little bit more plutonium here, which is amazing, so we can make more of those torches should we choose to. We can make more things with the iridium. Yeah, we're well on our way to doing some stuff here. So I was just going to wait for this thing to finish up and verify that we can, in fact, put that onto the memory. If not, we'll just lose these items, but I'm pretty sure we can store this. Yeah, 544 millibuckets of UU matter to make one of those. And let's come back over here real quick. Is it this one? Rubber. So it's 120 to make 1 iridium ore, or 544 to make. So is that cheaper? What is that? That's like 480 millibuckets to make 4 of the iridium ores. I don't know. I'd have to check out the difference for how much it costs to make the reinforced or the alloys or whatever. But either way, I think we're going to go and stop this from processing, and we are going to put this in here. So we'll import from the crystal. So now we have all 3 of those in here. Cool. And we can select this guy, repeat run. So it might cost just slightly more now that I'm thinking about it. I'll have to double check the advanced alloy recipe, but one thing that'll do is make it so I don't have to make the advanced alloys. So it might be worth it in that regard. It's just a little time saver. All right, so out here, I was growing some rubber trees, and I was doing, like I said, where you can move the rubber wood, so you have the little spot facing a certain direction, and I have done that here. I grew a lot of these rubber trees, and I just took the blocks with the little dots on them, and man, when I was doing this, it was weird. Like, I could get a lot of the ones with the dot on, what is that, the east side, and a lot with the dot on the north side, but it seemed like the one with the dot facing south, this one took forever to get. So this one was like way down there, and these guys were all up here. So I ended up having to like grow a tree and look for the dot on this side. If there wasn't one, chop it down, do this over and over and over again. This is the amount of wood that I ended up chopping down from those trees that I was growing, and I got these sticky resins as well when I was putting this all together. But yeah, now this is really, really simple for us to come through here and collect some rubber. I mean, obviously we could set up an automatic rubber farm, which would be better, but before we get to that stage, like, all we have to do is just come through here and click the little dots, and yeah, we get like rubber super, super quick. I think I went through here and farmed this all up. Let me get it down so I'm not flying. I think I went through here and farmed this all up, and it had like almost 4 stacks of the sticky resin. Now you gotta be careful. I think I just did that right here. If you double click on one of these, like, the little spot goes away and then you ruin it. And I think I just ruined this one because I was clicking too fast. So you just gotta be careful just to click once on each block and not just spam click it. You can click more than once, and sometimes you'll get more rubber, but sometimes this little thing where the rubber spot appears will disappear, and then you have to replace that block. And I think I just ruined that one behind me. Alright, so just doing this little amount, we've collected 2.5 stacks, so this is pretty awesome. And then over time, this just, like, the little dots reappear, and then you can do it over again. Cool. So I like that rubber farm, but like I said, obviously having like the MFR tree farm with the MFR rubber trees would be better, because then you don't have to manually do anything. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. I do like that. Then I can stick these over here into our extractor and get 3 rubber per one of these sticky resin. So yeah, very cool, very cool. All right, guys, so here we are in a flat creative world. Yep, I set this world up. This is where I do a lot of my testing when I'm trying to figure things out for modded Minecraft when I'm not in the game doing things for real. You can see the sun is up above, perfectly overhead, not moving at all. So you can do that. by doing game rule, do daylight cycle false. This keeps the sun from moving. So that's what I've done. And then directly overhead, if you want to know that, time set 6,000 puts it directly overhead and it's not moving, kind of like a Mistcraft world. Because, you know, who wants the daylight cycle happening? Anyway, I don't know if there's a way you can turn off weather. I'm sure there is. I just don't know what it is offhand. But that's the way I have this world set up. So always daytime. Right. So what we're talking about right now is the Magnum torch. It was brought up in the comments of my last episode that I think it was Snapcube who brought this up, saying that the Magnum torch, even though the recipe says that it is a 64 block radius, that it prevents mob spawning, and it's actually 128 block radius. So yeah, we have one builder's guide that's set at a 64 block radius, and I have one here that's set at a 128 block radius. So yeah, there we go. That is twice the distance. So that's 256 blocks from one side of the circle all the way over there. And it is in fact true. So we can do game rule, do mob spawning, true, and time set like 1800. We'll make it night. Cool. So at the 64 block, what it says that mob should be spawning, there's nothing here. But if we keep going beyond over to the 128 border, we can definitely see that's where the mobs are spawning. So why is this even important? Because I set up 3 of those Magnum torches at my base when I really only needed 1. I can just set one like directly on top of the base, and that'll cover the entire area that I care about. Kill all. Yeah, we can do that. Kill all the mobs. They'll respawn, and yeah, they're definitely outside the 128 ring here. So that's really awesome. So we have 2 additional Magnum torches now that we can do whatever with. So yeah, great. We just recovered 4 bedrockium ingots. Well, I removed all the extra Magnum torches that we had, and I moved only one of them right here, so directly above the base. So 128 blocks this way, and all the way around, no mobs are going to spawn. So I think we're going to be okay for being protected, keeping away all the Endermen and stuff. They keep stealing all my dirt blocks and making this place look nasty. Like, if you look around here, all the different hills and stuff, yeah, there's Enderman holes from where they've taken a block and then walked away. Yep, just kind of makes the place look a little terrible. Looks like another one right here. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill in like all the silly Enderman holes where they've been taking dirt and leaving it down in my basement or just despawning with it, and we will move on. So what I really want to work on today is start getting Applied Energistics hooked up. Yeah, we spent all this time working towards getting that ME controller. Yeah, I would definitely like to make some use out of it. So what we need to do is make ourselves, well, we need storage drives. We need the disks, or I guess the storage cells is what they're called. We need these to put data on. This is where our items are going to be stored. Probably going to do 4K for now. We'll upgrade as we go along. Eventually we'll have like the 64K. Yeah, there's spatial storage cells where you can transfer portions of the world onto a drive. I've never tried that before. I don't know if we're even going to mess around with that, but that's what these are. And then this also has a mod called Extra Cells, I think. Yeah, this is an add-on for Applied Energistics, and this allows us to have fluid storage. This is really awesome. Yes, I really, really like fluid storage, because then we don't have to worry about drums and barrels and all of that other stuff. We can just put all of our fluids in here, and then this also allows us to do fluid crafting. It also has walruses in here, which is really amazing. You know what? Let's do this. Firm tofu. We can do firm tofu right here. And then that turns into fish when you put it into your crafting grid. And then we can turn the fish into a walrus. Guys, we have a walrus. We did it. Awesome. Okay, so what I want to do, like I was talking about, is make these storage drives so we have a place to put all of our items, and then we have to have some place to put this disk so Applied Energistics can read it. So we need to get ourselves an ME drive. This can hold 10 different storage cells. Yep, so this requires the diamond processors, which is printed silicon, redstone, and this, which, you know, we have all these different things to do. We just have to put the items through the inscriber. Probably another thing that I want to work on is the speed upgrades, or what is it called? acceleration card. Okay, so we have to make an advanced card. So that's a couple of diamonds, redstone, iron ingots, and calculation processor, which is printed calculation circuit, which is pure Certus quartz crystal, which takes 16 hours to craft if you drop it in water. Thankfully, it does not take 16 hours if you do the crystal growth accelerators. So I did that last night, or I guess after last episode. So we have 4 of the crystal growth accelerators in the controller. Yeah, and I was able to power these things. Glass cable. Yep, I was able to power all of that stuff over here. So I just put the ME controller, which was it, this one? Yeah, I put it right up here. So this thing got some power. There's a conduit behind there, flux duct. And we can put the crystal growth accelerator like that, like this, like this, like this, and just run some power. These aren't power cables, are they? Just run some cables along, like so, and all 4 of those are now powered. You just put some water down here and throw your seeds in there, and they grow really, really, really fast. Well, a lot faster than 16 hours, that's for sure. I think it only took like 5 minutes to grow these from the seeds into the pure Certus crystal state. But yeah, let me go ahead and get some stuff done here, guys. I'm going to do a lot of crafting for Applied Energistics. I really want to get this going, and we'll be right back. Probably one of the worst things about Applied Energistics is when you are just trying to barely get started with the mod and you have to make everything by hand. So I set up an inscriber back here, and I just set up a simple little thing so I can put in like diamonds right here, and then that will feed through the inscriber into this middle slot. Then all I'd have to do is put like the engineering press right here, and then yeah, I can do like half a stack of diamonds, just walk away, come back, and those are done. So now you're left with this part right here where you have the engineering circuits, the redstone, and the printed silicon, and you have to place each and every one of those in here individually, and you can only place one at a time. It won't let you do a stack. So the best way that I found to do this is you use, what is it, inventory tweaks. You do space, click, and as long as the diamond, the redstone, and the silicon, I don't know if they have to be in the same order, but they have to be the first 3 slots of your inventory, and those will just go in there. So all you have to do is just click, and yeah, it automatically makes those for you, which is really awesome. I did make 3 of these acceleration cards, so it makes this process go a little bit faster. But yeah, this is definitely a lot nicer than having to drag each and every single one of those up there, or I guess, you know, click each one of these or whatever. But yeah, this is the way I'm doing it for right now, just to get ourselves started. All right, guys, so I got a lot of stuff prepared here. I've been using our inscriber over there a lot, getting things laid out so we can go ahead and do some mass crafting here. So here we go. Here's 1K ME storage components. There's a stack of these guys, and we can stick these right here, and we should get a bunch of these 4K storage components. So at this point, we could have 21 drives if we wanted to, or we could upgrade these over to the 16K ones. I'm really not sure what is the best method for now. Maybe we'll stay with the 4K ones, just so we have more types that we can put on these, and then later on we can upgrade these by disassembling the components, yeah, and putting them into this other recipe to make the larger ones. Cool. So now we can take these guys and stick them over here and make a bunch of the 4K storage cells. But before I do that, I want a place to put these. So let's make some of these ME drives. So the diamond processors, glass cable, and iron ingots, this is relatively inexpensive. So we can go ahead and set these little guys, I don't know, right here. This is all going to be temporary for right now. The whole idea right now is to get everything out of the storage drawers. I think I do want to continue using these. That's later on. So we might hook up a way for Applied Energistics to make use out of these things. But yeah, for right now, we want to get everything out of the drawers. So down here, we also have this annihilation core. So it's pure nether quartz plus fluix dust plus logic processors. So you can put those right here, and then I'll make an ME import bus. Cool. And that's how we're going to get items out of the storage drawers. Also, we need to make all of these drives. So there we go. Better than chest achievement get. So we can put these all in here and those all in there. Nice. Let's see. Where else? Yeah, we had... I think we're going to have one too many of these. Let's take that out of there, and we'll just craft 3 more. All right, there we go. There is 20 4K Applied Energistics drives. Awesome. So we can get a storage controller. Stick that there. We will make the Tesseract. Give it power, like so. There we go. All right, so now we need a way to access the items. And that is something we're going to be working on next. So in order to do that, we need to get a, what is that called? An ME crafting. Well, we don't need the ME crafting terminal, but this is what we are going to use. So we have to make the ME terminal plus a crafting table plus a calculation processor. And I think we should have extra calculation processors here since I did craft up a bunch. Crafting table, we got an extra one there as well. Cool, so we got most of the way, I think. The ME terminal requires a logic processor, formation core, and annihilation core. So the formation core is charged Certus crystal plus the Fluix plus the logic. So that's almost what we were just doing. So let's grab one of those. And over here, replace that with that. There we go, formation core. And then we have the annihilation core over here. All right, so we got those components. Pretty soon, this is going to be so much nicer for the crafting because we'll be able to do it all within AE. Yeah. So the illuminated panel, quartz glass, glowstone, redstone, and iron. So glowstone, redstone, iron. Cool. And what was the last thing that we needed for that? I thought there was one more piece. Redstone, glowstone, the quartz glass, that is right. And I did make up a whole lot of this stuff for these different recipes. So let's do that. We need some glowstone in here somewhere, some redstone. And I cannot remember the recipe, bad short-term memory iron. Cool. All right, so there's illuminated panels. We put those with the formation core and the annihilation core and something else, a logic processor. Wait. Do we have one? We have one right here. There we go. ME terminal. Nice. And finally, with the crafting table and the calculation, ME crafting terminal. Sweet. Oh, we can't do it like that, can we? Okay, so we need to get ourselves a glass cable. All right, so there's a glass cable. And our crafting terminal. Applied Energistics, guys, we did it. So now we can put items in there. Woohoo! Okay, so we're at this point now. We need to get items out of our drawer controller and over here. So I think we can do that using an ME import bus. I have not tried this before. I am just assuming that we can do this. So maybe I was gonna remove all this stuff and then I don't think I want to mess with any of that. Let us do packing tape. We will remove our iron ore. Let's do that. I need to grab my axe. Cool. All right, so there we go. So let us do an import bus right there. And then we need more of that glass cable. Oops. Okay. Glass cable. So can we just do that? Is that all we need to do? Is that doing stuff? Are we getting things in the system? It looks like we are. Okay, so I'm not sure if we want to get like all of these different things that we have a lot of. How much granite do we have? If we look over here, 26,000. That might be a lot to put on those 4K drives. So what I might do is put some packing tape like on all these different building blocks. Remove these from the drive, or I guess from the storage controller, and just import everything else. Now we're gonna have to do this a little bit faster because we've done like 20 blocks. I guess it's going a little bit faster, right? It speeds up over time. Maybe I can grab these acceleration cards that I made for this one and put it over here into this. But yeah, we really don't want to be importing those building blocks. So I'm gonna go ahead and move some of these larger drawers out of here so we're not pulling those into the system. So let's see, we don't want stone, sandstone. Oh man, I gotta make more of this stuff. Okay, well anyway, we don't want these particular things in there. So we will pull those out. Yeah, I'll do that for the rest of these, and we will import all of the items into our new ME system, and we'll be right back, guys. Oh, the little dots on the storage drawers are going away, guys. That's pretty awesome. It looks like it is pulling from the inside out. Yeah, I guess that makes sense because when you put items into the storage drawer controller, it like puts items into the center and then works its way along the outside. So pulling items out, yeah, it should be working from the inside on to the outside as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We are starting to fill up some of these drives, and I think 2 of those drives got full because of the amount of coal ore that we have. Yeah, we got 42,000 coal ore. We're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to process those, or I don't know. We'll do something with that. But yeah, a lot of the stuff we have, like, you know, just a few hundred of them or less. I mean, we got a lot of single items in the system, I'm sure. But yeah, we have a lot of ores that need to be processed, and everything is showing up here quite nicely. I'm liking watching all the items move as everything gets sucked in here. Yeah, it looks like it did pull in all the ores, and I think all of these from the compacting drawers. I'm pretty sure we're going to continue to use those compacting drawers like I was talking about. Yeah, we'll figure out a way to get this all working at some point. But for now, yeah, I'm just happy that we're getting everything imported onto our digital storage, and we can start taking these down eventually. Cool, that took a few minutes for it to process all the items, get them all into the system, but it looks like everything has been completely pulled out of the storage drawer system now. There is nothing in this inventory panel that we can see. So that means we no longer need the inventory panel. We no longer need the nutrient distillation drum. We no longer need this or that. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with the ender chest. I was using the ender chest to pull items into the system, and I have a tesseract back behind there too, so we can pump items from the tesseract into the ender chest, which would be pulling into the system. So we're gonna have to set up something similar to that over here. And in fact, what we could do is change this main base power to accept items. Item mode, receive only. Okay. So yeah, this tesseract is now set up so this will receive items. So another thing that we need to do is make ourselves an ME interface. So let's look at that. ME interface. Okay, so we just need this stuff. Do we have that? We are missing, what are we missing? This one, the annihilation core. Oh man, why can't I craft that? Fluix dust. I thought we had Fluix dust. Oh, you know what? I left it over here in the crafting thing, didn't I? Yep. Let's grab one of those right there, annihilation core, and we should be able to craft this up now. Cool. So there's an ME interface sitting right next to our tesseract that is receiving items, and the last and final step for that would be just to connect that to the network. So this thing can push items into the interface, which sends items into the network. Cool. So when we have a tesseract set down next to our quarry, for instance, it is receiving power and is pushing items through this tesseract. Yeah, and that just goes directly into our ME system. So that is really, really awesome. Cool, so we can get rid of this cable and all of this stuff over here. Nice. Should probably turn my magnet back on so I don't accidentally lose something. Man, I am super excited for this. Okay, so the first thing I would like to do, let's grab our axe. I thought I had that on me. Where is it? It's right here. Grab the axe. And we can say, peace out, storage drawers. Oh man, even with the axe, it takes a minute for these things to break, doesn't it? Yeah, so I just want to go through here, clean this all up, put our wall back the way it should be. Oh man, this has been a long time coming. I'm super happy for this. But yeah, I definitely want to clean up this wall and then move our Applied Energistics into a spot that looks a little bit nicer instead of kind of like in the middle of the floor there. So yeah, let me go ahead and finish this up and we will be right back, guys. Alright, cool. So we got all the storage drawers, at least all the ones we are not using, out of the wall, and I replaced it all with the marble, the stone brick pattern one, whatever, marble brick. Yep, so that's what we're looking like right now. It feels a lot more spacious here for some reason, even though it's exactly the same. I guess we did have the inventory panel sticking out one block. I don't know, it feels more spacious. So anyway, I have this hooked up, so our AE system can read these storage drawers. Let's take a look down here. So down below, yeah, these are our compacting drawers, and I did use some of these jungle trims that we were using along the edges. These connect the network just the same as the regular drawers do, but they just don't contain items. So I'm using this to bring the network back here to the drawer controller, which is hiding back here. And then on that, we have this ME storage bus, and the storage bus is what connects our AE system to all of the drawers, which is really, really awesome. I did set the priority on that storage bus to, I think, 100. Anyway, just make sure all the items that can go into the storage drawers do go in there. So we have like limestone and our marble, stone, andesite, diorite, and granite. And then we have our sandstone over here. And then all of our different blocks of ores or whatever are down there as well. So for instance, if we look at, I don't know, shiny, yeah, we can see all the different things from shiny. Now this is really awesome. The inventory panel was cool. We could see this functionality before, but when I take these things out, this like updates instantly, which I don't think the inventory panel did. It took like 5 or 10 seconds before it updated. So I can take out those blocks and like all these numbers change right there on the spot, which is pretty cool. Now I heard that could screw up like auto crafting. The system will think, oh, you have 2,000 shiny nuggets. Sure, I can craft all this. But when in fact, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, because it's reporting that you have the ingots and the nuggets and the blocks all at the same time, like that can screw up some auto crafting. So that's just something I'll be aware of in the future. Yeah, so this is really awesome. I did make 2 more ME drives so I can put in more discs. But after removing all of our minerals off of the storage and putting them into these drawers, our lights are looking a little bit more friendly. They're not yellow, so all of the bytes are not used. All the types on this one are used and all the bytes on that one. But yeah, we still have room to expand out here for more discs. And I do want to upgrade these from the 4Ks to the 16 and then eventually the 64Ks. But before I even get crazy like that, I would like to have some kind of way to automatically make our processors, the logic processors and calculation and all these things using the inscriber. So that'll be something we'll work on in a future episode. We have done that before with Steve's Factory Manager, but I do not think I'm going to do that again this time. It seems like Steve's Factory Manager, even though it's like really configurable, like if it does a lot of crafting operations too quickly, it really causes problems, or at least that's the way it felt like on our old Infinity server on Hermitcraft. So I'll probably look at doing it a straight Applied Energistics 2 method of auto crafting those. That's something I haven't done before and seems like it'd be a cool idea to do. So yeah, guys, I think the next thing that I want to do to finish off today's episode, man, we've been working with the storage and the Applied Energistics stuff like the entire time, huh? Yeah, let's start working on something else. Now, I want to start working towards getting bees. I know, you either love them or you hate them, but it's something we're going to do. Now, in order to get bees done in this pack, it's a little interesting. This pack does have dentistry, which makes bee breeding really, really quick. The problem is, like almost every single one of these machines require this power module, and the only way to get a power module is from an infinity comb, which I do believe is exclusive to this mod pack. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. So we have to breed bees to get to the infinity bees, which I believe, yeah, the infinity bees make these infinity combs, and the infinity combs can be processed, and then we get the power modules to make the dentistry stuff. So we had to do like the vanilla bee breeding up until this point. And guys, I got to tell you, I looked at the genetic path for here, and it's going to take a minute, a very, very long minute. So we have to get the energetic princess, and that comes from excited and diligent. Diligent isn't that hard to get. That's one of the earlier bees. Excited, I don't think is that hard to get either. Cultivated and valiant. Yeah, those aren't bad. It's probably the other line. Silicon. Okay, so we need silicon, which comes from Skystone and Ferris. Yeah, these are already sounding like they're really far along. So we need earthen and windy to get the Skystone, and windy comes from, I don't know, supernatural. It's shiny, so you know that's the end of a line of one of the different bee trees. So anyway, it's going to be quite the process to get there. But first things first, we need to start by getting ourselves an apiary. So in order to get an apiary, we need to get ourselves a carpenter, which we do have already, I think, right? I think we have a carpenter, but the carpenter needs seed oil. So how do you get seed oil? Well, you can breed a certain bee that'll get it. If we're into tree breeding, which you need to be into bees for, we can make seed oil, but since we don't have any of those methods at this point, so yeah, we could do cherries if we have the tree breeding, or walnuts or chestnuts, and I think the chestnut's the best one, if I remember correctly. Anyway, we have to do seeds, and I was looking how to get these seeds. And you can get these seeds from wheat, although this recipe has been overwritten in this mod pack. So if we try and put wheat in the crafting terminal, we get wheat flour. So we cannot get it from the wheat seeds. So what I'm going to do, I brought a whole bunch of spinach back from Wellington Towers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stuff, and you can put this into the crafting grid. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. We can put this into the crafting grid and get seeds this way. And these all give us 1/10 of a bucket, or I guess 100th, 10 millibuckets of seed oil. Okay, cool. So we need to make ourselves a squeezer. So let's get this going. Did I mention I was going to be doing most of the bee stuff off camera? Yeah, I know. We're not going to be spending like every episode doing nothing but bees, but this is one of those things that I want to get done. It takes a while to get to the point where we're going to be able to do dentistry and get like a lot of the cool ones. So I want to start working on this as soon as possible. And I'll probably be doing a lot of these off camera. But yeah, I thought we'd do like the beginning stages together. So we will start by making ourselves an apiary. Now I know you can also find these in the villages, but we've been to many villages, and all the villages we've been to does not seem to have any forestry houses. So we're going to start from scratch, which is fine. So in the carpenter, we just need to have 8 wood logs, and then in the little thing like this, and then I have some extra down here. So we'll end up making, I think, what, 32 impregnated casings, should we get enough seed oil. So yeah, we just need to send the seed oil down into here. Yep, that fills up. And now it says, hey, we have seed oil here. We got the recipe. Let's start crafting. So here we go. So a lot of this is going to be, you know, hurry up and wait. I need to get a lot of the seeds squeezed into the seed oil. I need to get a lot of these impregnated casings going. Things like this are going to happen, you know, over time. So we will probably just end the forestry bit right here, and I think we're gonna end the episode as well since it's running a little bit long. Yeah guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you did like it, and we will see you next time. Isn't that right, Walrus? Yes it is. Bye bye guys.